Day 3. Let's see if I can remember anything at all. So I have learned E minor, A sus2, and A major, aka just A. So I think this is E minor. Okay, I got that one. This is A sus2. And this is just A, I think. Yeah, there it is. A sus2, A, and E minor. All right, okay. Let's do guitar lesson 3. Today we're learning G major. He's just playing right now. I guess I'm supposed to watch him. Go into the store. Go into... Sorry.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here.
He shows me stuff for a
coming back
while.
For more. Hopefully, you've been having a little bit of fun. And
I
being
have.
patient with yourself.
I have been having a little bit of fun.
Everyone started as a beginner.
Thank
I remember
you, Marty.
only knowing one chord for like 3 or 4 years in high school and never following through with it. Of course,
Really?
it wasn't
I know
YouTube
3
and
chords.
resources. You
Mad.
actually have your parent drive you somewhere to go take a lesson, most likely. But anyway, what we're going to do in this lesson, first, there's links for the other lessons in this series.
I've already done 1 and 2.
There's a video for how to tune your guitar.
I tuned it already.
I introduced you to the E minor chord and the A sus2, which are the same
minor.
shape, moved around, get you
A
playing a
sus2.
little bit of music, right? And then we took that A sus2 and we added a finger and made it A major. And trust me when I say that all these chords we're learning in a very specific order to be able to, just learn a couple more, a few more,
Got a little.
to be able to play millions of
Not so
popular
much
songs.
yet, but almost.
So that's what's fun about this, because you can play songs that maybe you've always dreamed of playing, and they end up being easier than you thought they were, because they're all made up of these same shapes. So when you're learning these chords, you're learning a million songs. 6 or 7 chords.
I like how they call them shapes. Like
songs.
the chords
So
are
just keep that in
shapes.
mind.
I like
5
that.
minutes a day, or even 3.5 minutes a day for 2 months. Stick with it. And in this video, we're going to add another chord to the mix. And all the chords you've learned so far can be played in different combinations. And I remember when I knew 3 chords, I started strumming them in different combinations, going, oh, I just wrote a song. And being so proud of myself.
I haven't done that yet. I
In
haven't
this
written any
video, we're gonna
songs.
learn what's called the G chord.
Okay,
And
G.
just to give you an
We're gonna learn
example,
G.
the G chord could be anything from like Paradise City.
I don't know that
It could be Knocking on Heaven's Door. Same chord.
I didn't know that. Okay, I recognize
About a
that.
Girl, which was something, kind of teasing that in the beginning. 2 chords you already know if you learn this G chord. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So we'll zoom in.
It's funny.
We'll learn this G chord.
Marty
Thanks so much
music's
for the
fun.
support. I appreciate you subscribing
Oh,
to this
jeez,
channel.
he has
as well.
4.52 million
And, you can
subscribers.
leave
I guess
requests
that's
in the
why.
comments
He's
below.
fun.
But anyway, let's
He doesn't
get
need
this
a little
G-chord
me
down
linking him.
now, so we can get to playing some of your favorite songs. Here we go. All right, the next chord that we're going to learn is called the G chord. It
Okay.
sounds like this, and it looks like this. You know, really the quintessential acoustic guitar chord, made up millions of famous songs use the G chord.
Millions.
Everything we've learned so far is in a million songs, but the G is one of those classics. Paradise City, Knocking on Heaven's
Take
Door,
me
like I
down
said.
to Paradise
So
City
what we
with
want
the
to do
girls.
though is
Sorry.
if we start to analyze it, you can see my index finger is actually
Index
in the exact same spot it needs to be for the E minor chord.
for the E minor.
And these chords
That's E minor.
often go together. So a good starting point to start to learn the G chord is take our E minor
Take our E
that we've been
minor.
working on and play that,
Play that.
and then take our middle finger off
Middle finger.
and reach over. Remember, we're always using the
Reach
tips
over.
of our fingers. We're going to get our middle
the
finger over to
fingers.
the tip of the 3rd fret right here. Middle finger on the 3rd of the low E.
Middle finger on the 3rd of the low E.
And we
Oh,
want
like
to
this?
start practicing those.
Oh,
Just
no,
like we
that's
did
not
the
it.
E minor and the A chord, or the E minor and the A sus2. Now we're going to do E minor to G. Now there's another finger we need to add.
Oh, the
but just to
3rd
start
fret.
with, just transition this one middle
Oh! Okay.
the 2nd fret of the D over to the 3rd fret of the low E.
3rd fret of low E. Okay, so oh, now he's just showing off. I can't do things that fast.
Just to give you a little taste of where this is going. Now, the other finger we gotta add, and this can be tricky at first, is we're gonna add the ring finger. There it is.
The ring
all its
finger.
glory. We're gonna add it to the
He acted
3rd
like
fret
he
of
was
the high
flipping
E
us the
right here.
bird.
So remember that we're playing the G chord, also known as G major, and now we're going to start looking at kind of,
G major.
since this is a 3-finger chord that's stretched out over the neck, we want to now use a finger as kind of our anchor of the chord, or, the first finger we lay down. Now eventually we should be able to just, boom, play the whole chord. But that's something that you transition into. So think of a G chord as your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E.
Middle finger,
That's
3rd
what
fret.
I want you to think of as a G chord. And when you do that, it puts your hand into the best position
3rd
possible
fret
to lay that G chord down.
of low E.
So middle finger on the 3rd of the low E,
3rd of low E.
then index is where it still was for E minor,
Then
which
index.
is 2nd of the A. And then ring finger, we got to stretch it over and hit that ring finger on the 3rd of the high E. When you do that all
Wait,
together, it
what?
sounds like this.
Yeah, a finger doesn't do that.
Now, if you're doing stuff and it's not sounding as clean as what I'm doing, do it anyway, and it has to sound kind of muddy or buzzy
Okay.
or not perfect. It has to sound that way.
Oh shoot, I got it!
Past it to make
I
it
didn't
sound
think my
perfect. It just
hand could
doesn't
stretch
go
that
from
way.
Learning it to sounding perfect, right? And it's that in-between ground where people give up. They want it to sound perfect right away. Oh, I can't do this, right? No.
Whoop, drop my pick.
Everyone's G chord sounded a little imperfect at first. The people that still play the guitar are the ones that kept playing it bad until it was a little better until it was perfect.
I feel like my wrist doesn't stretch enough.
So then what we want to do, now that we have, forget about that A sus2 for a second, and let's just say now we have 3 chords. We have E minor,
Okay, we have E minor,
we have A, and we have G.
A, and
Well,
then
what I would start to do is
G.
play them in different combinations. Don't worry yet too much about the, fancy rhythm. and just start putting them in combinations, like, for instance, E minor to G.
A minor to G. Okay, A minor. Okay, slow down, Marty. A minor to G. Okay, okay.
And then go, okay, well now I'm going to do A to G.
I'm gonna have to pause him because I can't remember. So that was E minor. That was E minor. Okay. And then this was A sus2. And then this was A. And now, crap. See, I've already forgotten where to put my fingers now. Okay, this was, let me see if I can remember correctly. Okay. That was A minor. And then right across the neck. There we go. You can't see how much I am like struggling to like stretch my hand across the neck here. Like I feel like I have like I don't know, like this is hard. This is harder than it looks. And that sounds weird. That sounds wrong. Because it is. Okay. I think I'm back. I think I caught back up.
And wow, this is totally, none of the fingers are in the same spot, right? So remember what I said, use a locator or an anchor point for the chords. So for G, I said middle finger on the third of the low E. So if I have A major, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go to G, how does that go again? Well, I just want you to think middle finger on the third fret right here. And then think about the other pieces that need to go.
This is hard to do. Now he's going back and forth between A minor and A sus2.
Remember, you should take your time with it.
This is hard. I get what he means now about like making the shapes, because you have to like stretch and twist your like wrist and your hands in a certain way. Like, ooh, like that was wrong. There it is. Oh, but that was wrong
The other
too.
thing to point out here,
There it is.
that we did earlier is that muscle memory exercise where we take the G chord now instead of one of the other chords we've been working on. We get it right, make sure it sounds good, and then we keep the shape, you know, we'll freeze spray on there. Try and keep the shape to the best of your ability. I don't expect it to be perfect, right? Oh, the claw, the claw.
The shape. The claw.
I'm going to use that middle finger to kind of track where I need to go. Third fret.
Okay.
And then
Third fret.
index. And then ring finger.
Index.
And then I do it again quickly.
Ring finger.
I put it back.
Oh crap! I remembered it. I remembered it.
Put it back on. Okay, now I shake my hand out. And how do I do it now? Okay, what did I do? Oh, middle finger, index, ring.
How did I do it? Okay.
Okay.
Middle finger, index, ring. No. Down a string. Oh gosh, I forgot it again. Okay. So this is E sus2. Or A sus2. And then third fret.
Million songs.
Third
So,
fret.
let's just recap.
There it
E
is.
minor,
Okay.
move it over, you have A sus.
E minor. A sus
You ring
2.
finger down on the third of that B string, Eddie 8 Dynamite, Goodbye Eddie. You've got the A major chord. And then we've learned a new chord, G major. Middle finger on the third of the low E right here, index on the second of the A, ring on the third of the G. Practice them in all different combinations. Keep the shape, put it back down, and you're making music.
He's going so fast! Oh yeah, and then he does the cool little leg. Because it sounds like bright and tinny when you do it like down towards the end. Oh, now he's just showing off.
And a million others. I could go on and on. Hopefully it wasn't too hard for you.
It was a little difficult today, Marty. It was a little difficult.
Whatever finger of the chord is closest to the top here is kind of what we want to think of as our target finger. So for E minor, we want to think of the index finger
E minor
on that
finger.
second fret
On the second fret.
the A string,
The
and
A
then
string.
the rest fall in. When we're, now that we have this new G chord and we're starting to have to
The G
memorize these
chord.
chords, we want to think of our
The
middle finger
on the third fret?
target the middle finger on the third fret of the low E, and then
The low
let
E.
the other fingers ring, get into place.
And then-
Now, eventually, the whole thing will come down at once, but these are just little baby steps to guitar, baby steps to tune, baby steps to favorite songs. That was a What About Bob reference. If you haven't seen it, see it. I love it. It's hilarious.
Okay.
So, anyway, be sure to check the links for the videos that led up to this. And there's also links.
I might have to
for the
go
next
back and do
video
those
in the
again.
series.
This is
So
kinda
hopefully you're
hard.
having fun. And just a couple more chords, and you could have a list of millions of songs to start playing.
But I don't know if I'll be able to move my hand
hope that
fast
was
enough to play
fun
them.
and informative.
It was very
And,
fun and
hopefully I see you
informative.
in that next video. So check
And
out that
he
link,
still has a
and,
good
hope
hat.
to see you there.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I remember any of this at all. Okay, I remember the first one we learned. I remember... Do I remember? I remember E minor. Yeah, it's E minor. Because that's the Metallica chord. Because that's the... Okay. So that's E minor. And then this is A sus 2. And then that's A. And then middle finger, third fret. And then this is G. Yes! I remember G! Heck yes! Oh, I didn't think I was gonna remember it! Now I'm gonna play nothing but G. Sorry guys. Every song I will ever play will be a G major because I'm afraid if I move my hand from this weird claw shape, I'm gonna forget it. Okay, see if I can remember again. Okay, E minor. The strumming back up is hard for me. Okay, so that's E, and then here is A sus 2. And then here is A major. And then let's find that G again, baby. Can we find it? Can we find it? Yes! I found it! Hey! Oh no, G major. And let's see if we can move it into something else. Can we move it into... So what are we going back and forth with? We're going back and forth from A major to G major. I guess that's what I'm doing, right? That's what this is. That's A major to G major. today, during the day, even though I don't do this very long, the tip of my middle finger was like numb throughout the day, but like I don't notice it while I'm doing it because it's fun. And I know now why people keep their fingernails short on the hand that they use the frets with. So I know this is probably really boring for most people, but thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.